welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be filming or doing this really gorgeous Thanksgiving-y fall holiday look. It reminds me of Thanksgiving, like pumpkin pie or something. I'm not quite sure. But I also went along and did this like kind of monochromatic lip along with it. Not typically, keep hitting things, not typically what I do because I always go with the nude and I really wanted to go with the nude, but I thought let's step out of my comfort zone or something different. So if you want to know how to get this look, then please keep on watching. Start off by priming your eyelids using my Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Primer. I go ahead and set the primer using my Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder, and I have the color Banana Bread. I'm going to take my Morphe E20. I'm just going to set everything. I go ahead and also tap it on top of the brows. Today I wanted to do kind of like a very Thanksgiving inspired makeup look. I'm going to use my Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. I used this palette to do kind of like a olivey green smoky eye, so I wanted to kind of go to the other end of the spectrum and do something warm, something Thanksgiving or like fall inspired, just because the colder months are upon us and I just am such a warm girl and warm shadow girl at heart. So I really wanted to use this palette because it does have a good good selection of different shadows with like the greens, the blues, the olives, and then the bronzes, the browns and bronzes and everything. So, and some good like peachy tone colors. So I really wanted to use this palette just to create some different looks. So take my Morphe M502 and I'm going to take the shade right here to use as a transition shade, just to lightly give a little bit of depth into my crease, starting in the center and going back and forth. This is such a pretty transition shade. I'm going to go ahead and take the Morphe M441 and take this really gorgeous like yellowy melon shade to apply over top of the first transition shade that we just used. I'm going to take my Morphe R37. I'm going to go ahead and start building the shadows up in the outer corner. I'm going to take this really gorgeous, I'm going to be using one of her cream to powder shadows, I mean. This really pretty like gorgeous salmony color right here. I'm going to start applying that in the outer corners and blending it inwards to my inner corners. After I set this shade down, I'm going to go ahead and take a shade just a little bit deeper. Using this shade right here, which is kind of the same thing. It's kind of like a burnt pumpkin-y shade. Using the same brush and apply that to the outer corners. It's also one of her like cream to powder shadows. Actually, I'm going to use a different brush to use my Morphe M573. A little bit more precise and smaller. I'm going to go ahead and take my M504 and blend. I'm going to go ahead and start deepening this outer corner up even more. I'm going to take this gorgeous like apricot. I don't want to say apricot, but this one right here, it's kind of like a pumpkin-y shade. Actually, it's like a little bit deeper than a pumpkin, but you know, the same color family. I feel like this one is just like a matte, her plain matte shadows. I'm going to really just pack this one onto the outer corners. Terracotta, I would say. Just really gorgeous. The same brush, and I'm going to go in with these two shades right here just to deepen up the outer corners even more. Make it more smoky, but if you like it like this, I would just stop here. So I'm using my same brush and I'm taking those two deeper shades that I showed you guys, and I'm going to pat it. These are her cream to powder shades. I like to just like make that clear because her matte shades and her cream to powder shades that are also matte have different, like kind of different finishes or like sheens, I guess, but I'm just going to apply it not lightly, but packing it on, and then I'm going to blend. Looks like, I'm not like a fan of pumpkin or anything pumpkin related, sorry. Like pumpkin pie maybe? I don't know. What are some Thanksgiving things that are like orangey, reddish brown? Go ahead and take my M504 with the first light brown transition shade I used and lightly just blend everything. Don't mind the mess because I'm a messy worker, as I've shown you in previous videos. Now we're going to go ahead and take the transition shade. So I was asking my boyfriend like kind of what look I should do, and he said I should do something Thanksgiving inspired. Oranges and reds. I'm using oranges. So I'm going to use this really gorgeous like light salmon-y pink shade right here. I'm going to apply that all over my lid. That's really pretty. I'm going to go ahead and take a flat shader brush. This is the Morphe M167. I'm going to take the shadow. I'm going to spritz it with a little bit of my Pretty Fresh from Colourpop just to amplify it even more. I'm going to take my Colourpop shader brush and just slightly blend out all the harsh lines. And just connect it with my matte shades. So pretty. Okay, I'm going to go back with my Morphe M433, taking the deeper shades I used, and I'm going to blend inwards, like tapping it. Now I'm going to use, I got this in one of the Sephora Favorites kits. I'm going to use the Artist Couture. I don't think I've ever really tried many things from Artist Couture. Like this may be my first item, I believe. This is the Diamond Lights Finisher in Spotlight Glitz, and it's like a gorgeous, gorgeous like glitter shade is what these are. Take a little bit. And I've already used this a couple of times, but it's so gorgeous, you guys. I have nails, so it's kind of hard to like get in with it. It's like a really pretty silvery champagne shade with a little bit of gold. I just press it on top. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna spread out whatever I have, because I don't want to take over what I already have on that beautiful shimmer shade, but I want to add a little oomph, you know? We're now going to move into complexion. I'm going to go ahead and add some little bit of highlight. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter in number 4. This is one of my favorite like complexion illuminators because it's so lightweight. And it's not like glittery. It doesn't have any glitter. It kind of looks like you're glowing from within. And it English. And it kind of has like a little bit of color to it. So it kind of covers and gives you a little bit of coverage. I know that many people like to wear this by itself too. Maybe when I have like better skin days, that's something I can do. I have like a little whitehead here that I popped. So, and it's like right smack in the middle of my face. And it doesn't like bring attention to it or anything. It's just a really gorgeous product that goes on your face. Foundation. This is my all-time favorite foundation. I haven't used this in a video in a while. This is my YSL All Hours foundation in the shade BD40. I love this foundation. So we're going to go ahead and use it today. Just going back to old favorites here. Taking my Morphe MB9, I'm just going to use that to apply foundation all over my face. Take my JH03, take a little bit of that foundation in the bristles, just kind of massage it in, and blend. Using that foundation brush. I'm going to go ahead and take my beauty blender now and just also kind of pat in the foundation just to work it into my beauty blender and further blend. Applying my foundation or blending it out with the foundation brush, but I feel like sometimes it leaves a little bit of streakiness. Just like to make sure that everything is blended by going in my beauty blender. For concealers, I'm going to be using my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Ginger to correct and fix up this shadow situation I got here. And blended my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer out. I'm going to go ahead and use my e.l.f., what are these called? 16-hour Camo Concealers. I'm going to go ahead and use Light Peach and Medium Sand. These two colors right here. One of them is They're both really yellow based toned, like yellow undertones. They look like this. This one is clearly lighter. I'm going to go ahead and use the deeper shade first, which is medium sand. And then I'm going to use the lighter shade, which is light peach. Since these are much more full coverage, they kind of remind me of the Shape Tape Concealer. I'm going to go ahead and blend it out first. I don't feel like it's as drying, but it's not like, I don't want it to sit there for too long. It's not my radiant cream. Go ahead and blend out my concealer before I work on my nose. This is my Morphe E28. After I blended out the concealer on my nose, I'm going to go back and blend out my concealer, making sure there's no creasing. First going to, pat in. Okay, so my beauty blender was a little bit too damp, which is why it does that. So I'm going to let this set. I already let the bake set a little bit. I'm going to let the eyes set a little bit longer, but I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in number 2 to set the rest of my face. This is my Luxie 520 Tapered Face. I'm just going to pat. Take the bake off of my under eyes. This is my Morphe E49. I don't know why I said M. I go ahead and just pat it. And once more, I'm just going to take my powder brush and blend everything. Add and bronze up my face. I'm going to be taking my Becca Cosmetics Sunlit Bronzer in Ipanema Sun. And this has a little bit of glow to it. I'm going to take my Morphe E3, just a really like fluffy-ish brush, and apply it. Add and chisel out the cheeks. This is my NYX Highlight and Contour Palette. I'm just going to go ahead and chisel the cheeks. This is my E4, taking a little bit of each contour shade. My Real Techniques 103 once more. I'm going to chisel out the cheeks with some baking, using the same Huda Beauty Easy Baking Powder. So I went ahead and applied some mascara. This is my Diorshow mascara, and I went ahead and tightlined and also applied on the lower lash line the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil in Double Life, and I just smudged out on the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and apply some eyeshadow to my lower lash line. I'm going to take this shade right here. Actually, I'm going to take the orangey shade right here with my T66. Then I'm going to find a pencil brush. I'm going to take my E18 from Morphe and just blend this shadow out. I'm going to take my Dose of Colors shader brush that I use all the time and further just make sure this is really blended. Wow, it's like really like blended but like soft, which is what I was aiming for. I'm going to go ahead and apply some lashes. I'm not quite sure what lashes I want to apply just yet. So, okay, before I apply my lashes, I'm going to go ahead and apply some blush. The blush I'll be using today is the Patrick Ta Velvet Blush in She's Adorable, which is kind of like a very less shimmery version of Orgasm, I believe, in my opinion at least. This is the Luxie 504 Large Angle. Decided to apply my Koko Lashes Queen Bee eyelashes. So, I'm going to let the lashes dry a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and take my Laura Mercier Candle Glow Sheer Perfecting Powder in number 1. Go ahead and take the same 520 brush from Luxie, and this is what the powder looks like. It kind of is very similar to the Hourglass powders. This is just going to give my face a real beautiful glow and iridescent. Give it like a Filt'r like effect. It's really gorgeous. I didn't apply some highlighter. I'm also going to be taking Laura Mercier Face Illuminator in Indiscretion, which is kind of like an OG. I haven't used this in a while. It's a really beautiful highlighter. Taking my Anastasia A23. My Lexi 231 to apply the nose. Apply my brow gel. It's the e.l.f. Wow Brow. I've been loving this brow gel lately. You guys all need to try it. Set to my face. This is my Pretty Fresh from Colourpop. Guys, I went ahead and applied some mascara on my lower lashes using my L'Oreal Telescopic Shocking Extensions. To line my lips now, I think I'm going to use my, maybe a little bit of both. Okay, I'm first going to start with my Morphe Sweet Tea Lip Liner. Alright, now I'm going to take my NYX Cosmetics Lip Liner in Nutmeg, which is like a deep brown. My Soft Matte Lip Cream in Berlin, which is like a really pretty brownish color. Looks like it's kind of more like a brownish nude color. I'm going to apply a little bit of my, just to give it a more berry tone, this is my Kaja Beauty Cushy Vibe. I believe that's the name of the product, in the color Chiffon number 5. It's like a berry color. That is the end of my tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed this really pretty Thanksgiving-y fall look. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video.